everything. All right. Well, thank you so much for your evening. We won't press long, but I'm excited to be welcoming Trimease Carter to join us today. Let me pull up her introduction so I won't make sure I didn't have it memorized. So in 2022, Trimease became the program officer at Central Carolina Community Foundation, where she manages grant making with a portfolio of over $1 million in grants for nonprofits. Prior to working with CCCF, Trimease was the Youth Relations and Organizational Equity Manager at Wholespire for 10 years. She oversaw the development and implementation of the Healthy Young People Empowerment HYPE project, as well as led the organization's race, equity, and inclusion efforts. Trimease has also had a desire to work towards improving communities, and other roles include community education, assistant at sexual trauma services for the Midlands, and project coordinator for the Building Dreams mentoring program. Ms. Trimease holds a master's degree in social work from the University of South Carolina and a bachelor's degree in sociology from Claflin University. In her free time, she enjoys road trips, reading, community events, and spending time with her two children, Lyric and Jeffrey. So again, thank you, Trimease, for joining us and sharing your wealth of knowledge. Thanks for everyone who is on the call. I know I have a few that will be joining us, but I will let them in as we proceed. When we get to the end of the discussion, I will turn the cameras off so everyone can have a safe, brave space so that you can share your own personal questions. But thank you again for joining us, and Trimease, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and thank you again for having me join you all this evening to talk to you about Central Carolina Community Foundation and some of our funding opportunities. I won't take much time with the introduction, Larisha. That was the perfect introduction. But like she said, I am a program officer here at Central Carolina Community Foundation, where I manage a portfolio of grants for the organization. So I'll start by sort of giving a big picture of Community Foundation so that everyone is on the same page about what it is we do. We are a 501c3 public charity. We house flexible yet permanent collection of funds that's supported by just a large range of different types of donors. Generally, community foundations are geographic. In Central Carolina, we have sort of a geographically based foundation that serves 11 counties in the Midlands, and there are about 7 other foundations that serve in the rest of the state. Our board of directors, those community level community foundations, our board of directors at community foundations tend to be very knowledgeable about the issues that are impacting our communities, and they really contribute to some of the decision makings around grants and different things that we do here at the foundation. And we also provide philanthropic leadership on community issues and critical community needs. We try to do our best to understand what's going on in the community and making sure we're staying connected and aware of the needs of the community. So in your roles, please feel free to share if there's something about either your sector or what you have going on as an organization that you feel the foundation should know about. We also assist donors to help them identify and attain their philanthropic goals. So just at a glance, Central Carolina Community Foundation has awarded over $244 million since our inception in 1984. And those funds focus on all areas, a lot of different areas. And in our last fiscal year, through all of our grant making, we awarded 2,743 grants to 1,158 nonprofits. And this was over 16 million in funds. And we're currently, through our competitive grant making, managing about 150 grantees. And that includes the application processes, the contracts and evaluation, and just those different relationships with managing that entire grant process. I will say, of the 16 million, a lot of those grants are through our donor advised funds, but we do have a large percent that go through our competitive grants, which I will talk about in a moment. So what exactly is it that we do? We really try to work to make life in the Midlands better for those who live in the Midlands. And we do this through a variety of different things. We help build connections. So we try to make connections with folks who are doing similar work or whose work can support one another. So we really try to work in that area. We do offer nonprofit funds and an opportunity for nonprofits to participate in that. And I'll share a little bit more about that. We have a scholarship program. We do have an award that's an award from our board to another organization's board. It's a leadership award. We distribute donor advised funds. We have competitive grant making. And then we have two special initiatives, which you're probably very familiar with. Midlands Gives Day, which is the first Tuesday in May every year, and then Give 8/28. And that's really a day where we're focused on giving to Black-led, Black benefiting organizations throughout the Midlands. So I'll just speak briefly on nonprofit funds. These were also once called agency funds here at the foundation. And these funds provide an opportunity for a nonprofit to establish an endowed or non-endowed fund. An endowed fund will allow a nonprofit to have a source of ongoing revenue that supports daily operations and unrestricted needs at their organization, and they're allowed to make an annual withdrawal from their fund annually, or they can decide to reinvest that withdrawal. And this, the non-endowed funds, the endowed funds are more for longer term goals. And then we have a number of nonprofits that also have non-endowed funds, and these are really tend to be project-based, so like a capital project or a programmatic need. And these can be the entire amount of the non-endowed fund can be depleted at the time that the nonprofit organization decides to do that. So the nonprofit funds allow you to pool your investment. It sort of reduces the administrative burden of managing that fund. And then you also get guidance from CCCF's team on that fund and things that you can do with that fund. And the current minimum to create a now endowed fund, or an endowed fund, a nonprofit fund at the organization is $50,000. If you think this is something that would be of benefit to your nonprofit, or if you just want to learn more about what this is all about, please reach out to our advancement team, and their information is on the foundation's website, and you also see a link at the bottom of the screen. Or you can also reach out to me. I'll share my contact information, and I can help connect you to the advancement team and make that introduction. But I did want to let you all know that we have that opportunity available for nonprofits. So housed within the foundation, we also have a number of county-based foundations or affiliate funds, and those are the Greater Chapin Community Foundation, the Orangeburg-Calhoun Community Foundation, Kershaw County Community Foundation, and the Sumter County Community Foundation. And both the Chapin Community Foundation and the Sumter County Community Foundation, they do have some competitive grants that I will talk about. I have a slide that I'll talk about each of those. But if you've participated in Midlands Gives, you will see that all of these foundations do matches during Midlands Gives, but they do matches to organizations that are located within those counties. So if you're located in any of those counties and you're on Midlands Gives, just know that there is the potential to receive a match from some of our affiliate funds. So some of the investment priorities of the foundation's community investment funds or team is one, to increase livability and quality of life. We want people in the Midlands, in the communities that we serve, to have a high quality of life, and we do that by investing in organizations and projects that help to increase that. We also want to increase philanthropy. We wanted to make it easy for people to be able to give of their finances as well as their volunteer of their time. So we help put things into place to help make that easier for donors. We want to improve nonprofit capacity. We have some trainings that we offer, and through our investment and opportunities, we really want to build the capacity of local nonprofits to help them be able to carry out their mission. And lastly, we want the organizations that we work with to reflect the communities that they serve. So we do have some goals around helping to reach more diverse communities. And we do this through general operating support grants. We do this through funding for BIPOC-led organizations, as well as organizations beyond Richland County. So we do want to make sure that we are giving and reflecting the needs and the makeup of our community with our grant making. So on the screen, you see a number of grants. These are our competitive grants, and I won't go through all of them, but the ones that you see that are bolded, I will talk about those briefly because those may apply to some of the organizations or be opportunities for your organization to apply to. So the first one I will talk about is AFLAC, and I will say that there is an open round for the AFLAC grant, but as you can see, the current open round does close tomorrow, September 15th, but no worries, the application will open back up in the spring in March. So just keeping that in mind, and this is to fund projects that focus on health and well-being, as well as education. And if you're looking to apply for an art grant, for an AFLAC grant, you really would want to make sure whatever program you're applying for has some specific goals around health and well-being and education. It's up to $10,000. And this is one of the few grants that we have that's open to the state of South Carolina. So it does tend to be pretty competitive. And nonprofits who currently have AFLAC funding cannot apply for AFLAC funding again. However, if you don't have AFLAC funding, you are more than welcome to apply for the AFLAC grant. Now I will talk a bit about our capacity building grants. And capacity building grants are very important for nonprofits and for us here at the foundation. Oftentimes, as nonprofits, we have to spend so much time focusing on our program that not as much time or energy is spent in building the infrastructure of our program, of our organization, and finding opportunities to invest in our organizations as well as our staff and those folks that help run the programs, our board, and our infrastructure. So these nonprofit capacity building grants hopefully help to do some of that for organizations. So we have the Jumpstart Grant, which provides 1 year of donor management software. And that application is currently open and it closes on September the 30th. And with that grant, individuals or organizations receive a coach and they are able to receive the donor management software. So that's really for organizations who may not have a current process for managing your donations or your donors. If you were asked to pull sort of your donor information and you didn't have an easy way to do that, then this particular grant would be a helpful way to help you be able to do that if you were able to receive the CRM. Next is the organizational capacity building grants, and those grants really look at helping to build the capacity of your organization. So it's not looking at program capacity, but really how do you build your organizational capacity. These grants are up to $5,000, and the application for the capacity building grants open in November. And then we have the fundraising school, which is a virtual 6-week course. And that's taught during February and March on Tuesday mornings. And that's for organizations who may already have their donor management system, but still need some assistance on fundraising. And that's to provide the support for those types of organizations. Now I will talk to you about the Sumter Community Foundation, which I mentioned a moment ago. So this is similar to our capacity building grants. It's for organizations that have a physical presence in Sumter County, and it's really to uplift and strengthen and support those organizations. In fiscal year 22, the average award was $2,300. The application does close on September 30th. In addition to the capacity building grant that the Sumter Community Foundation offers, they also offer matches to organizations from Midlands Gives that are organizations that are from Sumter County. So that's just the grant that they have available to help build that capacity of organizations within Sumter County. And then going back to our Greater Chapin Community Foundation, these grants are available to organizations that serve individuals in the Greater Chapin area. So for this particular grant, your organization doesn't have to be located in the Greater Chapin area, which you see that's Ballantyne, Chapin, Little Mountain, Peak, and Prosperity. However, it does require you to serve that community and show where you have direct service to that community. Once again, to uplift and strengthen those organizations, the average award in 2022 was about $1,400. They also give a Midlands Gives match. So that's another one. The Midlands Gives match is for organizations located in that community. But that's another potential opportunity for funding that we have available here at the foundation. So I think, Rhonda, are you from the Columbia area or Richland County as well? Or?
I'm not. Actually, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. I'll still talk briefly about Knight Foundation then. Knight
Foundation, yes.
Yes, it's based in Richland County, and it's really looking to support those organizations that have activities in Richland County, more specifically the city of Columbia. That's where that interest is. And it's really looking at revitalizing the downtown and riverfront area, and to help attract and retain talent here in the Columbia area. They have 3 tactics that they're focusing on this year. One is building on assets. So how can you build on the universities, corporations, the rivers, in nature here in the Midlands area, enhancing the public realm. So looking at our public spaces, and is there a project that enhances that? And then the last one is civic engagement. So breaking down barriers for decision makers and really helping those who are underrepresented in the community be a part of civic life and take on leadership roles. The average award over the past 2 years for the Knight Foundation has been $70,000, and applications for the Knight Foundation is accepted on a year-round basis. If you have a project that you think would be a good fit for the Knight Foundation, please reach out to me to talk to me about it. And if we'll help an organization figure out if it's a good fit, and then that organization could be invited to apply for the Knight Foundation funding. Another opportunity that we have open currently is our Connected Communities grant, and that's been a signature grant of the foundation since 2015. It's a collection of CCCF supported projects that improve livability, quality of life, community attachment, and satisfaction in the Midlands. In that particular grant, there are 6 strategies that we fund: safe places to live and work, increasing access to facilities, healthcare facilities and services, increasing access to quality jobs, affordable housing, safe, proximal, high quality recreational spaces, and quality arts and cultural events. So that is our Connected Communities grant. And an organization must be a 501c3 public institution or faith institution. We also ask that the applicant be registered on Midlands Gives if you are to apply for the Connected Communities grant. That grant award is anywhere between $10,000 and $60,000. And that is one of our grants that requires a match. So if you receive funding in year 1, there's a 20% match. And then if you reapply and receive funding in years 2 and 3, there's a 30% and a 40% match. Round 1 of that particular application is currently open, and that closes on September the 30th. So we do have a number of grants that are open now, so this is a good time to share some of this information. And then round 2, individuals who make it to round 2, that will be October, and that they will be invited to the full application. And then the last round in January is a presentation to our board and a Q&A where the finalists are selected. And then one of our other ones that you may be familiar with is the General Operating Support Grant. And those provide unrestricted funding to support an organization's mission. And hopefully through this unrestricted funding, organizations are able to respond to community needs more effectively and efficiently. These grants are in the amount of $10,000 per year for a total of 3 years if funded. So that's $30,000 Once again, it's unrestricted funds. And although they're unrestricted, in order to receive the funds, the grantee does agree to a few things. The one is that you will spend the funds annually. The second thing is that you will register your nonprofit on Midlands Gives. There is an annual assessment that comes with this funding. So we do ask organizations to complete the annual assessment. And then lastly, we want to be in communication with the organizations that we fund. So just maintaining regular communication with the foundation. This particular grant will open in January, and there will be an applicant interest webinar in January as well. We're still determining the eligibility for this round of general operating support grants, and that will be shared on our newsletter and our website at a later time. So if you are registered or not, make sure you're registered on our newsletter. And when you get registered, make sure you're opening and checking those emails, because information about this grant will come through that. And I just like to say that traditionally, this grant is, it will continue to be there to fund organizations who have been traditionally underrepresented in philanthropy. So if you are already on the grant portal, we just wanted to remind you of some new things for our new fiscal year. Make sure you're testing your logins for the grant portal and the Midlands Gives platform. You know, if you've had new staff, making sure you've updated those passwords and cleaned up your contacts. Some of our questions we will pull from Candid, which is formerly GuideStar, so making sure you've updated your profile. And also, if you've had any changes to your banking information, that's something else, whether if you're looking to apply for grants or if you're signed up with Midlands Gives, just making sure we have all of that information updated. And any of our grants, I'll be talking about it in a moment, but you can access those online. I'll go ahead to that. In our grant portal, if you go to yourfoundation.org, at the very top, you will see a grant login button. And that's where you access our applications. And that page will look like this. So you can either create a new account or you can log in with an existing account. If it's an account that was under someone else's contact, you may also select forgot password and receive an email to that email address to get a new password to gain access to your organization's account. So in the grant portal that we use, there are several features that I'll share. Once you start your application in the grant portal, you're able to save it. There can be more than one individual from the organization on the grant portal, so you're able to collaborate. You can import information from Candid, GuideStar. You can preview your application before you apply by downloading a PDF of the questions. Everything, if an applicant is funded, all the contracts and reports and everything will be saved under the profile in the grant portal. And if you're reapplying for the same grant in additional years, you're able to copy your answers from past applications. It has to be for the same grant process, though, to a new grant in the next year, just to help reduce some of the work with applying for the grants. So once you are logged on to the grant portal, this is how it looks to access our grant applications. So any application that's open, you will see that under the apply, where you see the green bar. You click apply and then you will see a listing of the grants. Some grants, like I mentioned, the Knight Foundation requires a code. So once you've received that code, if you're invited to apply, you will enter that code and then that grant will populate. For all the other grants that don't have a code, you would press the blue button in the upper right hand corner to apply for those particular funds. You want to make sure you're pressing the right apply button, because some folks have pressed the wrong button, but we do have some language at the beginning of the application. If you accidentally click the wrong application, hopefully you'll see that and be able to redirect yourself and apply for the grant you're interested in applying for. I mentioned Midlands Gives. Just wanted to remind you, if your organization is located in the Midlands, this is an opportunity for you to use the online giving platform that's supported by the foundation. We currently have over 540 nonprofit organizations in the Midlands with an active profile. And the goals of Midlands Gives is to provide a year-round resource for donors and to improve nonprofits' fundraising capacity and public awareness. And we have several trainings and resources that go along with Midlands Gives. Through the Midlands Gives platform, we do have 2 annual giving days that we support. That's Midlands Gives Day, which is the first Tuesday in May annually, as well as Give 828, and that's when we're focusing on increasing philanthropy to Black-led, Black benefiting organizations. One of the perks of participating in Midlands Gives is that there are also opportunities for prizes and matching donations if you're participating in raising funds on that day. And since 2014, over 19.4 million has been raised through Midlands Gives, the Midlands Gives platform. We also do support and have media and donor engagement. And as far as registration for Midlands Gives, for new nonprofits, there is year-round registration. So you can go in at any point and register. And then for returning nonprofits, their annual registration is from December through January each year. The last thing I will talk about are our scholarships. If you are an individual who know and support and love young people and know anyone that's going to college or in college, we do have scholarships available. There are about 50 scholarship funds at the foundation, and we've awarded 6.2 million since 1998. In 2023, we awarded almost 620,000 to 195 students. And the median scholarship is $2,000, and 44% of the scholarships are renewable annually. So Quinn, I heard you talking about a son that's college age, so this may be something you want to look into. The application for our scholarships opens January 1st through March 5th. For the 24-25 school year. So please share that information. And there's one application, it's an eligibility quiz. And then based on that quiz, the students will know which applications they're eligible to apply for. And then they would complete that one application for the different scholarships that they're eligible for. That is all I have to share with you today. Are there any questions? And Larisha, I don't know if you want me to pause for you to stop the recording, or how do you want to do?
Yes, let's take a moment to pause.